Perhaps for some who are unfamiliar with that organization, what are they about?
Yeah, so YWAM is, you guys?
Oh, maybe you better use this one.
All right.
I'll take it.
So YWAM is short for Youth with a Mission, and it's a worldwide non-denominational nonprofit missions organization that has locations in 181 countries right now. I am based at Outpost Panama, which is in western Panama, right up by the Caribbean Sea, and Costa Rica. So these are some photos of our base here. YWAM focuses on two things, that is knowing God and making God known. So the first entry into YWAM is doing a discipleship training school, and that's part of what I've been involved in the last few months.
Okay. And we see a little bit of the pictures, but for those of us who think of the Caribbean area, we often kind of think of just, glamorous type of deal. So tell us a little bit about the compound in which your organization is working out of.
Yeah, so Outpost Panama is run off of solar power and rainwater. So we have to do a lot to conserve everything because there's only so much rain to go around, and the sun only shines so many days. This is our Thanksgiving, actually. It's lots of fun in the jungle. The base hosts 40 people, but we've hosted up to 60 people if you include all the hammocks that you can hang. A lot of our ministry focuses on reaching the indigenous tribes in the area. And so we have 3 tribes around the base, and they often come over for over for coffee, Bible study, or if they need medical help, we have nurses on base, and that's a lot of what we do out there.
Okay. So what is your role, or it has shifted this past year, so what has your role been this past 12 months?
So at the beginning of 2018, I was in Kona, Hawaii with YWAM Ships Kona, and a lot of my role there was administrative, processing applications for students that were coming in. And in February, my visa expired, and I needed to get out of the U.S., and they needed help in Panama, so I headed down there, and now since being there, a lot of my role has been administrative, but also with maintenance on the base, upkeeping the boats, I just helped run a discipleship training school down there and led an outreach team to Europe.
All right. Well, on that aspect, you have been in Europe, but you've been there twice. Once as kind of a student for the first time, and then now as a leader. Describe a little bit of the difference between those two experiences for you.
As a student, you were very inward focused and learning about your personal relationship with God and how God works in your life and the true character and nature of God. And then as a student, a lot of that is facilitated for you. You're walked through it, and there's always staff guiding you through it. But now, as a leader, I'm the one facilitating that for others. So there's a lot more responsibility that comes with that, and while also maintaining my own personal growth.
Okay, but this you had an opportunity this past year to kind of go to which places, and what was maybe a highlight of that experience?
So this past outreach, we went to, we were in England for some training, and then we went to France for a work project, and then we were in Athens, Greece for 4 weeks. Our outreach ministry is focused on reaching refugees in Europe, and a highlight from that, when we were in France, we were helping a church renovate an old garage that they got. It was this big brick building, and we had to chisel holes into the walls so they could put in a second floor. It was a brick building, and so had to chisel out holes to put supports in for the second floor, and I installed a toilet, and so this new church is going to be not only a new building for a home church that's just starting, but it's also going to be a center for refugees from Northern Africa to come and find community, find God, and hopefully find some shelter if they can get the right permits and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, your dad being a contractor that he is, I'm sure he's very proud that you had a chance to install a toilet down there in France. Obviously, YWAM has been a significant experience for you, and there's been some other people from our church who've gone ahead of YWAM. When people talk about their YWAM experiences, what do they generally say as in terms of being a catalyst for their spiritual growth?
Yeah, I think the biggest theme is definitely spiritual growth. YWAM will put you in situations that you haven't been in before, where you'll need to answer for your faith, and you'll need to look at how you see God, and it's often very challenging to look at our perspective and realize that Christ is global, and so trying to shift your mindset from being local, God's here in Regina, he's out at camp, but he's also in Greece on the streets with the refugees, and so YWAM definitely challenges your perspective, but I have learned a lot about God's grace and God's love for everyone where they're at.
Well, we're so glad to get a chance to be home and for us to hear a little bit about your story. How about we show our affirmation?